Well, let me turn my ring off because it's annoying. Be 2 hours. All right. So as we know, bad cylinder head. So I called up an old C4 buddy of mine. Not old. I bought the roof off of him. But I asked him, I'm like, hey bro, do you have any cylinder heads by chance? And he said, I sure do. So, this is what I got. Shiny. Brand new, unused, fully gone through, not ported or anything, but brand new valves. Edelbrock springs, they're dual valve springs. This thing has been gone through. Both cylinder heads have been gone through. They are cheap, no-name eBay heads based off the Dart Pro 1 200cc cylinder head. So I'm pretty sure that's what I got. One thing I didn't check, I think they're angled plugs. I guess we'll figure that out. Yeah, they're angled plugs, so thank goodness for that. And I got a pair of them. Never been run, nothing like that. You can see the Chinese stamping. And then, of course, the Chinese numbering. These were built in 2011. And I think they're going to be just fine for what I'm looking to do on this truck. The other thing I wound up picking up just a few minutes ago was a new comp cam. And the only reason why I'm doing a cam, which is dumb, is mainly because I'm going to replace the water pump anyway, and I'm just a couple bolts away from removing the timing cover and going through that whole thing. So I found on Marketplace, boy, these hydraulic roller cams are pretty expensive. They're like $500 or $600, and a lady locally was selling the 84228 comp cam, this is a Chevy hydraulic roller cam, and that's what makes them expensive. I guess the cams themselves are from a billet steel made to work with the hydraulic roller setup. But that cam is, I know it's got a 112 lobe separation. I don't really know what the specs are. 498 intake 502, or 495 intake 502 exhaust, and duration is 270 I believe. So I got that to pop in here. Basically, remember, the whole point of this car is for me to learn stuff, just to have fun, do things my own way, and just learn about all this. I've done lots of car stuff, lots of German stuff. My Ford truck over there, of course. Oh, I installed a tonneau cover. It's because I'm going to the men's retreat, and it's on Palomar Mountain this year, and it's going to snow, and I need to haul equipment. So anyway, so the whole point of this is just to learn. So I've never done a camshaft before other than on install for that Cummins that's in my truck. That's a whole different thing than, well, it's not, it's the same thing. But, and also because Marketplace provides, I found a guy selling a set of Summit brand new unused Beehive valve springs that are good to 600 lift. The spec, the product number is that. So those are going to go on the LS cylinder heads, but those are $250 springs I got for $150 or so. So they should handle the cam, the sloppy stage 2 that I plan on putting on the LS motor. So what you do is you just buy the parts that you know you're going to need at the best price you can at the time that you can, and then just hoard it. So if my wife watches this video, she'll know that I'm a hoarder. But Anyway, so tonight, in between squalls, you can see the sky is pretty rowdy. It's far rowdier to the east, and we definitely are going to be getting a bunch of rain tomorrow. But tonight, I want to just do some more tear down of the front of this motor. I'm probably not going to film it. I'll just film the results if I can and if the light's good enough. But that's the plan. Just plan on doing some work on this thing, putting parts away, doing some more garage stuff. We'll see how this all goes, but that's the plan. So stick around. In a minute. And I've just been super busy, so I haven't been able to do anything. But I've got a friend coming over, working on his car for a little bit. And I got a new gas range and a new microwave that are coming in. So I gotta get those installed today. You won't be seeing any of that. But while I was pulling stuff out of the garage that I still haven't finished cleaning up, I decided that I was going to go ahead and start tackling one thing that I wanted to do, which is to get rid of the exhaust EGR port stuff on this thing. So that's what they look like. And there's Tommy. And then this is what it's going to look like cut off. I'm going to drill these out. As you see in here, there's those little things. I got to take this. Hey, Tommy. Anywho, yeah, I want to get rid of those ports. I'm going to weld those up, but I kind of want to just get rid of those little nubs. So I'm just going to run a drill through those to get those prepped and get rid of those things. And then I'll weld them later. But it's one little thing I can do. So yeah, that's the plan. Back to whatever I'm doing here. It's been at least 2 weeks before I've done anything of any significance on the car. I've just been slammed busy. And I was going to work on the car and not film and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I need to put this on here. It's documenting the work that I'm doing. And that's something that I want to do for some reason. So I'm pulling the radiator. And I think I've got a pulley puller. And I'm going to try to pull the pulley off of the front of the engine, the crank pulley. If I can, I may run out of gas. Not real sure. But I am deleting on the AC. And as you can see, there's no fluid. There is nothing in that system. Not that Lee Zeldin's going to do anything about it. But, yeah. There was way more dirt than that. I've already vacuumed some of it in there. And look at this furry fella I found. If you're squeamish, maybe look away. Hey there, little fella. That was a boy. Yeah, so there was a rat in there. That is very old, so God knows how long that's been dead. Has to be at least 15, 20 years. Probably since the last it was on the road. But anyway, that's the story. I'm just going to keep after it. I got 2 more bolts on the bottom of the fan to remove it from the bottom. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to clean up the junk in there first, and then I'm going to remove that auxiliary fan because I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm not running AC. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep prepping. The main goal is if I can get the harmonic balancer off tonight, that would be sweet. If I can't, no big deal. Then it's pull the cam, timing cover, the timing chain, pull the gears. I've got a new Cloyas set. Just their budget street strip. There's your part number. Literally says street true set. Nothing fancy in this thing. But just a double roller. They warned me that there might be a little clearancing required. Double roller chain. 3 adjustable keyways on that thing. Who cares? I'm literally just going to jam the cam in straight up because this is going to be a lot better than what was in there, which is nothing running. So It's a decent little upgrade. It's more of like, I'm betting that when I get in there, that I'm going to have a ton of timing chain slap. I could be wrong. It could be fresh. Who knows? But yeah, I'm rambling at this point, and I just want to get to work. We have a very, very overcast afternoon. It was sunny earlier today, but then it just died off. So everyone complains about pulling the radiator on this thing because you've got this shroud, and there's just a bunch of stuff in here. It's really not that bad, and it's not that terribly designed. If I was redoing it at GM 40 years ago, I'd have made those bottom bolts on the fan unnecessary. That's what I would have done. It's just design something to slide it in and use two bolts at the top to secure it. That would make it easier. And what would be even better is theoretically you could pull that whole top shroud along with it. Because that's the top of the fan shroud there, and that's where those bolted out. I mean, whatever. My radiator has seen better days. I just washed it off, but it's not bad. The plastic's nice and relatively fresh, but it got whammoed by somebody somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade on that as well. And it's got the thermo switch, but I'm probably going to put a BMW one in because it's what I'm most comfortable with and used to, and I got all the controllers and all that. But anywho, yeah, I'm just going to get to it, and I'll bring you back when there's something interesting going on. Well, I'm going to drill a hole and let that drain. But I've got this all rinsed down, got the power steering pump, the air conditioning pump pulled. I'm probably going to look, I know I can reuse the bracket, but I need to get a pulley on there if I'm going to actually bypass air conditioning, because there's no reason to have it, in my humble opinion. That's heater core stuff. God, what a weird setup. It just seems needlessly complicated to me, but particularly for a small block Chevy, it's just too much. Anywho, I don't have a puller set, so I'm going to have to either order one or rent one. I don't particularly want to rent one. So I'm just going to clean up out here and get this bedded down once more and get back inside. I responsibly cleaned the driveway enough, but a little bit better, just a little bit more. Once I get that camshaft swapped, the rest of it should actually go pretty quick, because right now I'm deleting on stuff that I don't want. Air conditioning, heater core, although I'll probably eventually hook that up, but who knows what condition that one's in. And that electric fan setup, I'm going to deep six and do something different. So I need to source a radiator for sure. The AC condenser's gone, the pump is gone, and the dryer is gone as well. No need for that. See, Walter. Yeah. It's going to go quicker. I really think it is. I just got to keep at it. Keep my head up. I know you guys have had bad days. Today was just not a great one, but that's okay. I got wind in my lungs. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and that's an opportunity. There I am being Pollyanna, or just Paul. Oof. Welcome back to Paul doing Paul things. And one of the things that Paul is doing today is attempting to get that harmonic balancer off of here and get that camshaft yanked out. So that's the plan today. I got the harmonic balancer puller, and I already have pretty much everything off. I'd like to get the camshaft out and the new one in tonight. And if I'm super ambitious tonight, I would like to get the harmonic balancer and timing cover put back on. So anyway, that's the plan. I'll let you know if there's anything interesting that comes up. I have doubts. But it's high time I finally put a little time into this thing and get going again. It's been really chaotic lately. Anywho, that's where I'm at, and I'll keep you posted. Well, so far it's all going well. Already got it started to pull off a little bit, but where you want to look is right here, and you'll see this pulley come this way. It was actually far easier than I was expecting. I did remove the power steering line, just put a little cap on it. So this guy's coming off, no problem. You can use a power tool. I don't think that it's a wise move. This isn't even my tool, so I guess I shouldn't care, but I hope I'm not creating a problem on that line, but I don't think I am. This guy's just pressed on, and I'm going to heat it up to install it afterwards so I can find my propane torch. Ta-da! Easy as that. There we go. So to go into the crank snout, the tool comes with this little conical doohickey. Comes out just like that, but it's pretty simple. Yeah, so I'm gonna get that timing cover off. You can see there's a bunch of bolts there, no big deal. Those should come out relatively easy, and when I go to reinstall it, I'm going to use pipe dope on everything because I don't really care to research which ones are supposed to be going into a water jacket or not. It doesn't really concern me. I can just pipe dope everything and call it good. So with any luck, the whole thing comes out just fine. OEM tool 58 or 57187. It's a police code for a murder. 187. I don't know why I know that. Anyway. All right. Let's put this downward. All right, let's see if I can knock that off. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the oil pan on the bottom. There we go. So I think I'm going to have to remove. It's not bad. I should be able to get this out. There we go. There we go. So that'll sit down in that gasket. One-piece gasket, so we're good there. So this is a single roller timing chain that is clapped out. Clapped out. Let me see if you can see this. Actually, I'll be right back. Okay. Look. Not clapped out at all. Yeah, I'm glad I was in here doing this. Look at how much play that is. I got a new timing chain set. I'll show you that later, but we'll go ahead and knock this off. And yeah, I think I'm going to have to lift the engine up, which is what a lot of people said I have to do, because I don't think... See those bolts? Oh, nice glob of grease. That better? Kinda. There we go. So that's pretty much eye-line with the cam. Those bolts come off, and I've got this cross member in the way, so I'm going to have to jack up side of the engine, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see. And with that, this clapped out pile is over. So I'm going to walk it straight over to the truck and throw it in the bed for recycling after I let the traffic go by. I live on a busy street. Hello, Mr. Tesla. Yeah, let's just throw this in the bed to go with her. Oh, but Motorcycle King. What's up, gents?
What's up? How you doing, man?
Good. More recycling. Yeah, so I'm gonna jam some bolts on the camshaft and see if I can yoink that out. We'll do it while I'm filming. Why the heck not? Can't be that hard. Can't be that difficult. Let's see. Those are those 3 bolts. There's no lifters in it, so I don't think I'll have a problem there. I have doubts about whether this will clear, and this will tell us. Oh, gotta take the retainer plate off. Of course they use Torx. So let me get that off first, and then I'll come back. Okay. There we go. Cam's on the way. And that's why you got to jack the engine up. Clunk. Yeah, I got to jack the engine up. So, that's my next step. I guess you just remove one bolt and just kind of cant it up. I'm probably going to do the passenger side since it looks easiest. Of course, I say that and it's completely unqualified. It won't be too bad. Yeah, it's getting there. All right. So this bolt goes right in here. You can see that bolt hole, and the nut goes on the back there. So that side's now loose. Now I just need to get underneath there with the jack and jack up the engine just enough to be able to clear that camshaft. I think maybe a couple inches tops. It's pretty close. It's probably a better way to see the angle. Yep. And with that, oh cool, it's got little locating tabs. Didn't even realize that. See that? That's going to land in there. Same on the other side. But with that, there we go. And now we're going to look at the number 1 cam bearing. It's fine. It's completely fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. So there's the old bump stick. Let's look at it. Cam looks good. I'm not seeing any problems. Interesting, it's still got the fuel pump eccentric on it, which is on the end there, but this one doesn't have one. So, anywho, it's time to go get the new cam. Put that in. Set this guy back on the ground. Yeet. That's just junk. No one's gonna want that. So yeah, I realize the light's probably killing you. You only have to lift it up just a little bit. It's not that bad at all. So, all right, I'm gonna get the new cam. I'm just gonna install it and not show you guys just because there's no reason to. I'll just throw some lubricate on it and move on. All right, I've skipped ahead a little bit. You can see I installed lube on the cam. I got the cam in there. I got the engine drop back down. I still have to put that engine bolt in. I just need to go tappy tap tap with the hammer. And the other thing I'm doing, since I'm installing a double roller timing set, is this is the cam sprocket. So it's two springs or two rolls instead of one. And then here's the sprocket for the crankshaft. So I'm pulling the old crankshaft off. That's going really well. Here's my new chain. It's just a basic true street roller, but it's not a very expensive unit. It should keep things quiet and be much stronger, and so I'm looking forward to doing that. But this guy's coming off just fine. I took out the Woodruff key that holds the harmonic balancer, and you'll see this thing move. And this is just a Harbor Freight 2-jaw puller, and it's working just fine, which surprised the heck out of me. So the next step after this is to rotate the crankshaft over to get it to top dead center so that I can just install the cam straight up and all that good stuff. Sorry about the clankety clank. Yeah, there's a second Woodruff key, so I'm hoping this thing just slides on relatively easy. I mean, this is getting easier and easier to pull, so I don't think I'll have too much of a problem getting it on. But there we go. So that's now removed. Ta-da. Old crank sprocket. It doesn't look terribly worn out. I mean, it's all right. But it's junk as far as I'm concerned. I just don't want it. So this is the crank key. This is like a 3-way set. And I'm pretty sure that at top dead center this guy will fit on. Yeah, I mean, that's fitting on beautifully. Just a couple taps with a socket and that should fit on there just fine. So that goes like that, right against there. And there's your timing mark. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's that one. I should probably look at the instructions. That's probably a good idea. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing rotated over to top dead center and get going on it. The oil pan gasket looks good. I'm not terribly concerned about it, but I'll clean this up. I will put some RTV right here and here and here and here. Actually, just on the outer edge, since that's all that really matters. Yeah, this is a one-piece gasket, it looks like. But we're moving. We're moving forward. I'm feeling good about this. Of course, I say that and it could go all bad. I'm looking that way because of the light. Anywho. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to do is while I was in here, I wanted to just take a look and see at the damage, see if it got into the rings at all, and it doesn't look like it. That notch that's right there in the piston, that's from the factory. Every one of them has it. But those are where that piece of metal was just dangling around inside there. There's no clearance issues, and it didn't scrape the cylinder wall. I can show you that by rotating this thing around. There's no scrapes or anything on the wall. So this motor is probably fine. There's no ring ridge at all, and you can see down there, I hope you can see down there, there's nothing scraping anywhere. I'm not saying the motor's in perfect condition, but it's not damaged as far as the bottom end. There's no scrapes, no marks or anything like that, so we're good to go there. So now I'm just trying to get the motor around to top dead center, which that should be this piston. And that should do it, actually. It's awfully close. Yep, right there. That's at the dwell. That's right at the top of that thing. So that's good. That's sitting right where it needs to be. Top dead center on number 1. I am going to Google real quick and verify that's number 1. I'm almost positive it is, because I've been looking at a bunch of these lately, and that's what it looks like when it's at top dead center on number 1. You can see the camshaft in there has got plenty of lube on it. It's going to be just fine. The rollers look like they're going to line up just fine. I think the camshaft's going to come out this way just a little bit, so that one, those cams, the cam should shift in the bores that way just a little bit. But yep, that's the plan. So here's my setup to be able to hammer on the sprocket. I'm sure there's an installer tool. I'm not terribly worried about it, but I have this 32 millimeter wrench that I can't remember what I used it for. I think it was for a pulley, and I ground it down to get it in enough. That's why it's spray painted on it. Anyway, so my socket was not really deep enough to go all the way in, but basically I just built this up and just went tappy tap tap to get that thing on there, and that should do it. That's about where the key was before, and you can see that 0 right there is pointing straight up. The cylinder's at top dead center, and now I get to work on getting the chain on and all that good stuff. I don't think, yeah, there's no problems. It's probably, yeah, that's on there. I'm not worried about it. I won't be able to get this bolt out until I can block the motor, because I had to tighten this enough to be able to turn the whole crankshaft and get the engine up at top dead center. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the story. And I'm just going to keep getting after it. So next step is to get the sprocket on here, which is right here. One of the things you have to check for on these motors is clearance on the back. So that goes like that, and then I lied, that goes like that, and you want to tighten it up, and they've told me that there could be some clearancing that has to happen. My guess is it's this spot right here. So worst case scenario is I'll have to get in here with a flap disc and grind that down a little bit. I'm not terribly worried about doing that if I absolutely need to, but the only way I'll be able to tell is if I get this on here and it snugs up flat and square, and if it does, then we're good to go. Otherwise I will have to clearance here just a little bit. It clears those bolts no problem. That's not an issue. So yeah, that's the story. I think it's going to be fine. The way it's looking is it should be fine. I'm not seeing anything. You can see that there's plenty of clearance there so far. So I guess it's hit and miss on the blocks on how bad the casting is or how the casting was made. But that's it for now. All right, so I got these snugged up just to test, and it's not hitting the block, but I can tell that the cam is hitting part of the crank or something, but it's nice and smooth everywhere otherwise, and it's not gonna hit that spot. Ugh.
Okay, if I lost my brain this time, it's gotta stay.
Okay, all right. Bye, hon. So that's the story. I'm going to go ahead and eat these off. I'll probably use a little bit of blue Loctite on these just because I'd hate for this to come off. That would be rough. And the other thing I'm noticing is I'm definitely going to have to put that crank sprocket on a little bit more because it's not lined up perfectly well, which is fine. I'd rather just slowly approach it as opposed to just get after it and expect things to be okay. So that's okay. I'll tap that sprocket on a little bit more and see if I can get them lined up perfectly well. And all this is going good so far. But basically, when everything's said and done, this dot should line up with that dot. Although the FSM, the field service manual says number 6 has got to be up at that. I don't know. I don't think it'll make a difference. Every cam install I've ever heard of is you put the motor at top dead center and away you go. So, anywho, that's it. I'm going to keep working at it. You can kind of see how there's a little bit of a misalignment down there. That bottom sprocket needs to be tapped on a little bit more. All right, got some medium thread locker on there. And I'm going to go ahead and wind this thing around. Sorry about the camera being in the way. Oop. Let's go the other direction. So the camshaft turns. Oh, let's try that. The camshaft turns twice or the crank turns twice for the camshaft turning once. So that's one rotation on the crank and a half on the cam. And if I do things right, the two will line right back up with each other. And there they do. There we go. Camshaft installed. Woohoo! Oh. Timing chain is nice and tight. That's the way it should be. So that's good to go. I got that sprocket down on the bottom pounded in, so it's in good shape. So now it's the timing cover, which I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to clean it up. Those have to go into that gasket. You can see where those go. But I'll get this cleaned up, and I don't even think I'm going to fog it or anything, but just clean it up and try to struggle to get that thing reinstalled. Yeah. All right. Here's the deal. My motorcycle. Got the timing chain installed. It's in good shape. There's no interference problems. I'm happier in the clam. I'm just going to go ahead and clean up for the night, and here's the reason why. I couldn't bring myself not to do a couple maintenance items on this thing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this. I've already got it cleaned up. I'll just run some tape across these. It's cleaned up and in good shape. I feel pretty good about it. I will run a wire wheel on this. I just scraped with a razor blade to get most of that off. And this seal, I don't think it's ever been replaced. I don't even know what that says. No idea. Clink, clink. I don't think it's ever been replaced. So I'm going to replace it. There was a lot of oil kicked up. My bet is that this was leaking. So I went and did the right thing and spent $7 and got an AutoZone one. It clearly goes in from this direction, because if you flip this over, you can see the lip there. You're supposed to it's supposed to butt up against that. On the inside, you can see how there's a lip running right along here where that's bottoms out and seats. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out. Finish cleaning this up. They didn't have the gasket in stock. They had some at the hub, but honestly, I don't really like paper gaskets for this stuff, so I did the right thing and I got some Gasket Maker Ultra Black. This stuff's supposed to be good for oil, so I think it's going to work good on this. And then, like I said, I can't help myself but paint this thing. So I got some VHT, what's the color code? Burnt copper. I don't know, I just think it'll look cool. I don't know. I'll eventually do the valve covers as well, that color. And I can't decide if I'm going to run the Corvette valve covers or just find some generic ones and then paint them. But that's the plan for tomorrow at some point. I'm again helping my buddy Tommy out with his wife's car. It's great being basically a semi-pro mechanic, not at all, to all my friends. That's what I am anyway. So, yeah, I need to get this cleaned up, get this guy covered back up. And I need to get this sealed up relatively quickly because we have some rain coming. I feel really good about that double roller. I really do. I think that was a good call. The other Woodruff key for the harmonic balancer is in there. The harmonic balancer looks like hell, but I honestly don't think it's too bad. I'll clean that up and maybe fog. Well, okay. The rubber's dead. I will source a new harmonic balancer. I think that's worth doing. Just so that I don't have any problems. It's not going to be a perfect engine. It's not going to be perfectly rebuilt or nothing. But I believe the short block's fine. I just think that the main issue is those heads were broken. And in case you didn't stick around or watch that video, this is what a normal cylinder head looks like. See how those circles are perfectly in good shape. This one might have had a gasket leak or something, or the valve wasn't sealing. And then this side clearly had a bunch more EGR stuff, but that's what broke. That chunk chipped off. Don't know how. I mean, it's kind of bizarre the way that happened. I'm just assuming that the aluminum fatigued and that's all that happened. I've got a new set of heads in here. I just finished installing the cam, which you guys saw. But here's the new set of heads. I don't know anything about... These are supposed to be Edelbrock valve springs. I just don't know, and I'm not confident enough to run these as is. So what I ordered was a set of LS6 valve springs. Technically came off of an LS3. So some beehive valve springs. I've got the new keepers, which are smaller in diameter. I'm sorry, the keepers, the retainers. So these are spring retainers that sit on top. You can see they're different colors. And then I got new offset keepers, which will allow them to sit up higher so that I get full lift as needed. But I'm pleased that now it's going the right direction. It's at least going back together the right way. It's going back together. That's the thing I'm happy about. I had not had much movement on this thing, and I finally feel good about it. So I've got a new radiator. I ordered a new aluminum radiator. It was all of like $100, $110 shipped. So the old one got whammoed, as you saw. And yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. I'm stoked about the new cam. I'm stoked that it's timed. I'm stoked that it's got a good timing set. I'm gonna have to clean up the block a little bit here, and get that timing cover prepped. I'll paint that tomorrow. And then I need to weld up the holes in the exhaust manifold that I created. So I probably covered this, but I'll reiterate. I wanted to delete on the EGR stuff. Or actually, this is the air pump stuff where they inject fresh air into the thing. That's a nice big hole. I'll have to make a patch for that. But these, I should be able to just spot weld and fill up. And I'll probably chamfer, like I've done on these. I'll probably chamfer those as well. These are not fully prepped by any means. They're not like massive or great, but at least they'll work. And this doesn't use a gasket. It's a ball and socket, and I kind of like that. So I didn't want to go and buy new shorties for next to no gain at all. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to go ahead and just start cleaning up and get inside and enjoy the rest of my evening. All right, check you guys later. Welcome back to another day. Battery's dying. I just got the timing cover on, used some black silicone. Just going to let this sit up for an hour, which is what it's told me. Yes, I've painted that. Cleaned up a little bit here and there. Painted the intake manifold. I don't know. I just decided while I was in there I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to let that set up for an hour, then torque it down. In the meantime, I'm going to install the radiator that I got, because that's pretty much it. Once it's torqued up, I'll slide a new harmonic balancer on, which, if you can see how cracked up this rubber is, I'm pretty sure this is original. This is a Dorman replacement. Here's the part number if you absolutely need it. It should do the job just fine for what I'm doing. But yeah, battery's dying, so I'm just gonna keep after it. Alright, got this new radiator installed. It fit just fine. It's all secured in there. Got the new fan. I tested it, make sure that it works. It's got power. That's all good. This is the, I think it's AM performance, although it says PM. I have no idea. I'm still waiting on these guys to tack up. It should be about 20 minutes here or so. Then I can work on getting that balancer installed and start going the right direction. I'd like to get the balancer on and the lower crank pulley on. One thing I do know about this radiator, I'm pretty sure that these threads are not the correct threads for, yeah, they're not the right threads. So I'm probably not even going to use this cooler. I'll probably just cut this off and cut the other one off in the bottom and just run an external cooler somewhere. That's for the transmission. But I'm feeling pretty good about that so far. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I gotta leave it here. As you can see, it lines up at 8 degrees top dead center, which is exactly what it's supposed to. The balancer is not fully installed. I just tried heating it up quickly. I'm gonna have to rent one of those tools. But that's it for today. I gotta get cleaned up and I got to go to dinner. My buddy Rick and Jay. Buddies, Rick and Jay. Anywho, that's it for today. Alright, welcome to a drizzly and dreary Southern California day. Kind of rare. But I do plan on doing a little bit of stuff to this. I don't know how I'm going to do it without... Maybe I'll throw a pop-up tent up. But I ordered up a small block, big block Chevy harmonic balancer installation. It says LS. They just named it like that because they're hilariously Chinese. But I want to get that installed, and then I got a new set of lifters for the motor, and I'd like to install those, which I think I need to have them soak in some oil. I don't know if you can see the drizzle. That's definitely problematic for working on an interior engine. You know, I got this Shopsmith, and no one wants the thing. Like, I'm literally giving it away for free on the lines. It's just annoying. Anyway. Yeah. So I don't plan on doing a whole lot today because I really can't, but I'd like to be able to get a couple things kicked down the road. It would be cool to get the lifters installed, the retainer things, dog bones I think is what they're called, and then the other thing I'd like to do is get the spider installed. I'm waiting on some keepers that are going to show up. I got the valve springs, the LS6 valve springs for the Chevy heads, and I got the the retainers I got those already, and then just need the keepers, and then I can assemble those heads and start putting that thing back together. Alright, here's a set of lifters I bought. They're just Rock Auto Specials. Engine Tech, which I understand they basically buy wholesale stuff. These are Korean made, ROC, or maybe Taiwanese. They're probably better than the old ones I got, and of course I am using used motor oil because I don't have any fresh stuff. And to be honest, it's better than nothing, right? That's the way I see it. We'll just dump these guys in here. Come on. Just pour a little bit of this on top. I run waste motor oil in my engine, or in my Cummins, as fuel. So I've got friends who are constantly giving me used motor oil that I eventually filter, although I've got 3 filters on the Cummins truck and it should do the job. But I do filter it beforehand, so we'll just let those sit in there, and I don't know how long they should be in there. Maybe a half hour. I have no idea. I got my tent up, which smells very funky for some reason. But there's the balancer I got to pull in. You can probably see it better. Shows right at 8 degrees before top dead center, which is exactly where it's supposed to be on this motor. That's what the factory calls for. So that means I at least got the engine at top dead center on number 1, and that the balancer is poised to go in properly. So need to get that tool out wherever the heck I put it. Of course. I literally just had it. The self-induced struggle is real. It was sitting on top of the car. Then I moved it. Whatever. I'll get you guys back in when I'm ready to do that. Yeah. So there's the small block, big block tool. I've already pulled out my other bolt so I could tell it wasn't this size. It's this size that goes in the crank snout. The tool's not bad for like 19 bucks or whatever. It's got a bearing in there, and I don't know. We'll see how she goes. Oh, I'm gonna have to remove that line again and maybe press down. Yeah, let me get re-rigged here. Well, only had to remove the one line. This is finally started in there. I don't know if it's the right size, but I got a 5/8 socket. You guys can probably barely see. There's not a whole lot of room to work in here. But I'm pretty sure that you want as much thread engagement as you can. Oh boy. Anywho, I'm just going to keep after it slowly but surely. And when I go to start cranking this thing on, then I'll bring you guys back for that. But I need to apparently get that thing tightened on there some more so that it's fully engaged. I really don't want a problem like stripping out the crankshaft. That would be a rough time. Yeah. Shout out to Mikey, who bought me a set of these really thin wrenches. It allowed me to get in here and just start tweaking on this. I got it snugged up. It's not like, you know, like you're gonna break it type tight, but that's not going anywhere now, and I can proceed let's see how this works with me filming. But I grabbed a 32-inch wrench, which is probably the wrong size. No reason for you guys to watch me try to get that snugged up first. There we go. So it's got a roller bearing in the actual thingy bob. Oh, I'm turning the damn engine over. Wah, wah, wah. Well, not sure exactly how I'm going to remedy that at this current moment. The best thing would be to get a bar on the oh, it's coming down. Getting a bar on the transmission tunnel. But I don't think I'm going to do that with this weather. So I'm just going to leave this the way it is. But I can throw those lifters in. So I will do that. I mean, this is not a hard driving rain by any stretch of the imagination. But it is a rain. And that and internal engine parts is not ideal. But I'm stupid enough to keep going. So I'm going to. So we'll just set that nice fancy Husky 32 right there, and I'll get those lifters and put them in and start putting that piece together. Yeah, contemplating, but not loving my contemplation choices, results. Anywho. Yeah, just shooting this to kind of show you what I was talking about. It's not really a sludgy motor, which is great, but you can see those shiny things. That's the camshaft, and they're perfectly in the bore now. I knew that when I installed the camshaft thingy bob, it would work totally fine. The camshaft sprocket, that it would center it properly. Oh, hey, Turbo. Psst, psst, psst. Well, it was a nice visit. He doesn't like the rain either. I don't mind the rain. But basically, I'm just going to grab one of these guys, which is Nar. And I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I think they just go in with the wheel going the right direction. And you'll see the dog bones I'm talking about. They'll center those and make sure that they're going where the wheel is turning perfectly with the camshaft. This is just a messy job. It's all there is to it. Getting a little water in here, but I'm not terribly worried. You can hear the water coming off the tarpaulin. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on and get that done, and then I'll clean up a little bit and put those dog bones and then the spider hold down doohickey on there. Yeah, just keep after it. It's just the way this works. All right, so there's a whole pile of dog bones. So you can see how these are slotted across the top here. That means I need to get these rotated properly. These just sitting on there like that. There's no mystery to them. They just make sure that they go up and down the right way. And I think the thing's designed to move as needed. But the only thing that is critical is that the lifters themselves are turned so that they go properly, like that. So the main thing is they don't want them twisting like this in there. And That's because the rollers, the wheels themselves, they have to stay in a certain plane. Otherwise you'll have a real bad time. Yep, there's the water flying in. That's okay. So there's that. And now this guy should sit on there like that. And see how it kind of lines up over those dog bones? It just holds it in place. So this steel is just kind of springy. Nothing fancy there, just old school tried and true way of holding something down, which is nice. And that's probably a half inch. Probably a half inch. I do need to hurry. The only reason why I say I need to hurry is because there's the old lifters. The old lifters weren't bad. Like, there was no wear on them. Probably just keep those until I'm no longer running small block Chevy stuff. But getting into my fancy schmancy tool drawer. Not half inch, probably 9/16 if I was to guess. So I'll bring both. You can come over here and check. Yeah, it's half inch. I was right about that. I'm sure there's a proper way to do this, and then there's the way I'm doing it. But that's okay. No big deal. And a little extra oil in here is not going to matter. I'm going to be just cleaning that out anyway, as best as I can. And go over to my wrench. My ranch dressing here. Put those in my pocket. And I don't recall these being very tight. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just hold them down. Well, that's done at least. Can't really do a whole heck of a lot given the weather. And I'm not a genius enough to be able to hold down the crankshaft at this current point. But a little extra oil ain't gonna hurt nothing in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it down. The cylinders are probably the thing that matter the most. I mean, really, you shouldn't get water in any of this, but that's okay. I'm just kind of lubing it down a little. Just dipping it in the nice used motor oil. So if I get smoking on startup, we know what it's from. It's from me being a dumbass, doing this in the rain, and me getting oil in the cylinders. Yeah, the cylinder's good. Feel fine about that. Hey, don't worry about dragging aluminum through there. That'll be okay. So I'm going to button this up. My china walls are nice and clean, which means that the intake itself is what got all of the RTV. I mean, just look how dirty this damn thing is. Probably should have pressure washed it before I got so involved. I'm just kind of centering these. I think they're designed to move around a little because there is side to side play on them. But I think that'll do it. I don't have too much of a choice but to quit while I'm behind. inclement weather. Got rained out. Anything in my nose? Yeah. Tis what it is. There's the new radiator. It's installed. I just assume it holds water. It was all of like $110 on Amazon. And it's at least not whammoed, so that's good. Yeah. Not a whole lot I can do. You know what I could do? I could put the car in gear. That would do it. Then I can get back to tightening down that thing. Let me get this covered up, because it couldn't hurt. And then I can put the car in gear, and that'll do the job of holding the crank in position. Yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so I got it in gear, and I'm fairly convinced that'll work. Yep. I think that's going on. Kind of annoying with the light situation. That should work. Let's see if I can set you guys right here. Yep, there we go. She's pressing on. No problem. It's a good amount of effort. I'm lifting up so that I don't get tempted to bear down on it. I think that would be a bad idea. I don't really know how far it's supposed to go, but I imagine I'll know it when I see it. Yeah, it's working great. It's taking some force, not a lot, but some. Taking a break. Alright, back at it. Putting it in gear worked. It means that the crankshaft is now connected to the transmission, which is connected to the drive shaft, which is connected to the drive wheels, and they're on the ground. Ooh, that might be it. That looks about it. Yeah, it's now flush with the thingy bob. Come on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Seems about right. Seems about right. You can still see the line. I'm actually going to go check it out and look it up and see if I'm missing anything, but I'm pretty confident that's it. Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. It's bottomed out, and I don't think I can do much more than that. And I seem to think that it was sticking that far out. So I just need to go back and look at some old pictures or maybe some old videos and see what the story is there. But I'm pretty sure that's good to go, so I'm going to call it good. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put the line back on, and then I'll probably install the crank pulley, because I think that'll give me an idea of how well lined up it is. So yeah, I'll let you know if anything interesting transpires. Currently installing the harmonic balancer bolt. With the thing mainly being pressed on there, I have doubts about whether I'll have a problem with it backing off, so I'm just going to give it a good whack once it bottoms out. Just a quick shove and then move on with life. It's a long frickin' bolt, I'll say that. And there wasn't a washer on mine. It's probably wrong, but whatever. That's good. I think maybe not. Yeah, it's not good. Oh, I'm an idiot. The pulley goes on first. Well, that explains that. Well, you live and learn. You live and learn. Explains why there's no washer. It's not needed. I honestly don't even remember removing this. I mean, obviously I must have, but I don't remember it. So you're not going to see much once I start putting the other pulley on. So I think I'll just end this video off here for the evening anyway. Get this done. And then, you know what, I'll see how it lines up. It's a serpentine belt drive, so that should be easy to figure out. If it works, but it should. I didn't lube the seal or anything. I think you're probably supposed to, but oh well, right? We'll see what happens to it. It's not a terrible job to do if you gotta do it, so there we go. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. That'll line up just fine. I don't think it can't really go anymore, so I'm 99% positive that's it. So one thing you'll see is it's got 3 bolts plus the center thing, which again, there's no washer, but I think there's supposed to be. I kind of wondered about that. Let me go check my parts. I'll see if I can find a washer for it. Well, I found an washer for it. Let me tilt it up a little. There we go. There's an washer. So you can see there was a witness mark where there was one at one point, but I do not have it, and I don't recall one coming off here. Now this one's probably sufficient, but I figured I might as well go bigger, so I found this one in my parts bin, on my bolt bucket, And I think I'm going to just stack all three on there. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. So, there we go. So one of the tricks to this, for sure, is getting those three. Yeah, see that center's on there. That locates it, so I'm not terribly worried about it. See that lip on the back there? You know what I should do is I should tighten this up first, because I'm not going to have room to get in there. Hell, I can barely get my hand in there as it is. So, I'll do that real quick. Oh, wait a minute. Look what I found. I did have the washer. I'm an idiot. So I didn't need those, but I definitely need to install this first, which is not exactly pleasant because power steering fluid gets everywhere. And I know that's a 5/8, I know that much. Let me go grab a 5/8. What an idiot. Look at that. Just start blowing. So this is just like a regular brake line fitting. So you kind of don't want to screw it up. Then you'll be in a world of hurt. If it doesn't start threading, they usually just pop up. So I'm not terribly worried about it. Get a can of brake clean and blast this off. Tight. Let me grab brake clean. Come at it from this angle. I lost that little cap. No idea what happened to it. It's okay, they're cheap. Alright, back at it. It was a fun car to bend over. Yeah, it goes like that. Probably could use another washer there, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the little guys I had found. Boy, that's pretty nasty though. That's too big. Oh well. I guess it doesn't need one. Didn't have one before. Yeah, that lines up well enough for me. When you got Manos de Jamon, it can be a challenge. Nope. Doing a little two-finger tango here. Come on. There we go. Now it's got a little purchase, so I can start it with the socket. Now I'm going to try to get one of the other bolts started. Which will prove to be a joyous time for all. It's always fun trying to turn this stuff. Well, pick that one up off the ground later. There, that one went easier. Probably can't even see that. There we go. That's started. And there's another one up here. This is where just having good spatial talent, you can just imagine where something is. Can be helpful when you're kind of looking with your fingers. Don't you wish your eyes, like your fingers had eyes? Be helpful. Of course, this car's, oh fuck, sorry, this car is so low. I'm bending over at 90. I'd leave it up in the air, but I'd get letters from the city. There we go. Again, finger tight tango. One hand, you're just kind of come on. see that bolt. Grab it quick. See if I can get this third one started, which is going to be probably the least fun since it's all the way down at the bottom. There it is. That wasn't too bad. Oh, spoke too soon. So you can see what this is doing. The main bolt, the one in the middle, it's securing the, centering the pulley, and then the other three are holding the pulley in place. So that the belt will not slip. Come on. It ain't started yet. I'm going to have to rotate the motor over, I think. Not aggravating at all. This is where my friends would quit working on cars. It's one of those things that requires patience. There we go. There we go. Just try to get them all started. There we go. I got a neighbor up there with a detached barn. And he's got a full-blown machine shop. See, there we go. Yeah, that lines up well enough, I think. I guess we'll find out one day or another. Come on, baby. Go, go, go. And on the ground that one went. Where's it rolling down to? Oceanside Boulevard? Who knows? Whatever. I will find that one day. But this way I can at least get this installed. Sure, there's a torque spec. I'm just going to go for good enough. This is not going to be revving at 8,000 RPM or anything. And we'll fire it up and we'll see if it's straight. It should be straight. I mean, it's just a giant metal shaft. There we go. Oh. That'll probably do. Oh, there's the other socket. Let me grab it. Come here, little fella. Need a tool to collect a tool. Now, back up we go. Welcome to working on cars. That socket tried running away again. So you can see there's not a whole lot of room to work with here. Probably can't see that. There you go. That's that center bolt. It's good. So now set it to righty-tighty, Paul. Yeah, I'm going to need a shorter socket on that one, or rotate the motor around. Well, you guys get the idea. I'm just going to finish it up. I'm probably going to leave this tent up because who cares? I'll take it down tomorrow. But yeah, so that'll do it. I'm going to get that finished up and installed and call it an evening.